Persichetti developing tonight. Pope Francis is awake and alert and joking with his doctors after undergoing intestinal surgery earlier today. The Vatican says doctors repaired a hernia that developed following colon surgery in 2021. The 86-year-old pontiff is expected to make a full recovery, but he will remain in the hospital for several days as a precaution. The abdominal surgery comes before the Holy Father's rigorous travel schedule planned for this summer. Joining us now to help break down what this all means for Pope Francis is Dr. Robert Tabali, infectious disease specialist with the St. Roque Center in Chicago. Hi, Dr. Tabali.
So nice to be with you today.
First off, how common is it to get a hernia 2 years after intestinal surgery?
Well, it depends what type of hernia. There's something called an internal hernia, which can form after you develop scar tissue or banding inside the abdomen from the effects of surgery. That does not happen to everyone. It's a fairly uncommon event. My understanding is that the Pope is suffering from something called an incisional hernia, which is where the incision was placed. Some other bowel elements may have herniated through the anterior abdominal wall so that almost he gets a pouch or a pocket under his skin that actually is other bowel that has come through the abdominal wall.
Yeah, on Tuesday, Pope Francis just got a checkup. Today, he's in the hospital for open abdominal surgery. So it seems this operation was necessary, right?
It seems so. If the doctor thinks that the bowel could be strangulated or cut off from circulation by getting caught in a very tight web, then they will take the person to surgery right away. It sounds like this is what happened with the Pope.
There's always a risk when you're put under general anesthesia, but the Pope is 86 years old. What does it mean for someone his age?
Well, they would have to keep a close eye on him while he's under the anesthesia to make sure he doesn't have any cardiac events. You know, that time has come and passed. Sometimes for older folks, it's their body doesn't break down the chemicals used for anesthesia as fast as for a younger person. And so they watch him closely to make sure that he didn't aspirate or have difficulty swallowing after the surgery when he gets his first foods or fluids, and to make sure that his respiratory status is good after the surgery.
And of course, our prayers are going out for a speedy recovery for the Pope. Dr. Robert Tabali, infectious disease specialist with the St. Roque Center in Chicago. Thanks so much for being here.
Okay, take care.
The school year is coming to an end, and the Bishop of Brooklyn, Robert Brennan, is marking the last days of the semester with a Mass at Christ the King High School in Middle Village. During his homily, he gave students some summer homework. Keep your eye on Christ. Current News' Jessica Easthope shows us how students are putting that advice into practice.
Bishop Robert Brennan blends into the crowd of students changing classes at Christ the King High School. In many ways, he's just like them, trying to keep his eye on Christ in the midst of a storm.
What's he doing? He's walking on the water.
That was his homily message as he celebrated Mass at the school Wednesday. Referencing the Gospel of Matthew, Christ came to the disciples, walking on water in a storm.
And there he is, going, whoa, look at me. I'm walking on water.
When he asked Peter to step out of the boat, he was able to walk on water too. But when his focus was off Jesus, he started to sink. The message resonated with sophomore Emmanuel Odiari.
The moment you stop believing, the moment you stop praying, the moment you stop following Jesus, things will start to, go bad.
Bishop Brennan said he wants the students to understand that the lesson goes even deeper.
I want the students to recognize what Jesus sees, knows, loves them in them, and believes in them, and calls them to the greatness. But the greatness is being connected to him.
Emmanuel says he knows many young people have moved away from their faith, but he's trying to stay focused.
Honestly, I always look up to God to live a righteous life and to be holy and to be doing the purpose that he sent me onto this earth to do.
Faith has been an anchor for Niall Iriarte, especially during his high school years, which were shaped by the pandemic. But as he enters his senior year, he's steady in his commitment to Christ.
A lot of people kind of lost their faith. I think that's what's been missing in the last few years. Trying to live the way God, Jesus, would want me to live or want anyone to live. So always remember to do what's right, and that's how I'll carry that with me into senior year.
Bishop Brennan will also be celebrating an end-of-the-year Mass at Cathedral Prep later this month. In Middle Village, Jessica Easthope, Currents News.
We're looking back at this amazing time in Catholic education with a special show. The Currents News School Year in Review special is taking it all the way back to September, showcasing this fantastic year for Catholic schools across the Diocese of Brooklyn, highlighting our A+ students who are taking their faith outside the classroom and the teachers who are inspiring them each and every day. Just tune in to Net TV June 17th and 18th so you can catch the Currents News School Year in Review special. It'll be one you don't want to miss. Air quality is at an unhealthy level in all 5 boroughs. It's become so bad that officials say New York City now has some of the worst air pollution in the world. Everyone, especially people with health and respiratory issues, is being urged to stay indoors. Schools in the Diocese of Brooklyn have canceled all outside activities and field trips. The high level of pollution in the air is coming from wildfires burning in Canada. Young people from Brooklyn and beyond will be heading to Lisbon this summer for World Youth Day. Some 400,000 youth have signed up for the week-long event in Portugal. Now we're hearing about the Pope's itinerary for the trip. The Holy Father will land in Lisbon on August 2nd. On August 3rd, there will be an official welcoming ceremony by the Holy Father. Then on August 4th, the Pope will preside over Stations of the Cross with young people at Edward VII Park. On August 5th, the Pope will visit the Shrine of Our Lady of Fatima and hold a vigil there. And on the last day, August 6th, the Pope will celebrate the concluding Mass for World Youth Day. Maybe you want to go. There's still time to register. Just go to lisboa2023.org/en for the English version of the site. The register button will be in the upper right-hand corner. And finally, tonight, some big games are brewing for hockey and basketball fans, and 3 archbishops are getting in on the action thanks to a friendly wager. The 3-way bet is over the NHL Stanley Cup and the NBA Championship. The Florida Panthers are taking on the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and the Miami Heat is battling the Denver Nuggets. Should the Florida teams lose, Archbishop Thomas Wensky will send Florida stone crabs and hand-rolled Cuban cigars to the winners. If Denver loses, Archbishop Samuel Aquila will send bison steaks and whiskey. And if Las Vegas loses, Archbishop George Leo Thomas will send 2 sets of steaks. That's my kind of bet. That is this Currents News Update. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.